As early as in St. Paul and St. John, we read that to create, to fulfill, and to purify the world is, for God, to unify it by uniting it organically with Himself. How does He unify it? By partially immersing Himself in things, by becoming element, and then from this point of vantage, in the heart of matter, assuming the control and leadership of what we now call evolution. Christ, the principle of universal vitality, sprung up as a man among men, put Himself in the position to subdue under Himself, that is, to purify, to direct, and superanimate the general ascent of consciousnesses into which He inserted Himself. By a perennial act of communion and sublimation, He aggregates to Himself the total psychism of the earth. And when He has gathered everything together and transformed everything, He will close in upon Himself and His conquest, thereby rejoining in a final gesture the divine focus He has never left. Then, as St. Paul tells us, God shall be all in all. But under the shock which is rapidly causing its rivals to disappear, Christianity, which might at first have been thought to be shaken too, is showing on the contrary every sign of forging ahead. For by the very fact of the new dimensions assumed by the universe as we see it today, it reveals itself both as inherently more vigorous in itself and as more necessary to the world than it ever has been before. The bigger the world becomes, and the more organic become its internal connections, the more will the perspectives of the incarnation triumph. I will say that again. The bigger the world becomes, and the more organic become its internal connections, the more will the perspectives of the incarnation triumph. That is what believers are beginning, much to their surprise, to find out. Though frightened for a moment by evolution, the Christian now perceives that what it offers him is nothing but a magnificent means of feeling more at one with God and of giving himself more to Him. And it is in no way metaphorical to say that man finds himself capable of experiencing and discovering his God in the whole length, breadth, and depth of the world in movement. To be able to say literally to God that one loves Him not only with all one's body, all one's heart, and all one's soul, but with every fiber of the unifying universe. That is a prayer that can only be made in space-time. Till we all come to the unity of faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, to a perfect man, to the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ. He is the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For by Him all things were created that are in heaven and that are on the earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created through Him and for Him, and He is before all things, and in Him all things consist. And it pleased the Father that in him all the fullness should dwell, and by him to reconcile all things to himself, by him, whether things on earth or things in heaven, having made peace through the blood of his cross. I am the Alpha and Omega. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father but through me. I am the funnel in which all things are being drawn and spiraling, circulating, heading in this draw to this omega point where everything will culminate, for the whole creation groans and travails together with us, waiting for the glorious liberty of the children of God, waiting in birth pains for the manifestation of the children of God. All